Hello spooky soul, welcome back to the channel. It's been a real adventure starting up with this channel and having you come and join me in my little spooky book world of These Enchanted Pages. Today is actually a really exciting day because I get to share with you my recent November book haul. Now I know these kinds of videos aren't for everyone, and I just want to say first and foremost that everyone has their own idea of how much is too much, too little, and I'm not here to judge you, and I certainly don't want you to judge me. This is my personal preference of what I consider pleasure for me. I spend my hard-earned money on all of these books, and I still choose wisely when it comes to any purchases. I don't mindlessly fill my shopping cart up. I do thoughtfully and carefully think about the books that I want to buy. If I'm really not sure about whether or not I want to read something, I just don't buy it. And I also want to include in this video the fact that a lot of the books that I try and buy are secondhand, and I really want to encourage the secondhand market to be a part of your life and your reading journey. And whenever we do finish a book, or I finish a book certainly, I will redonate or resell it so that it keeps the cycle going. Everyone is free to do what they wish. This channel is not about tearing anyone down or saying anyone's better than one another. I'm just sharing my unique take on it, and I hope that I can encourage you to do your take. This channel is all about delving into my personal preferences, my tastes, my opinions. They do not have to reflect or offend anyone else. That's all on you. And like with anything in life, we are all free to make up our own minds. Take what resonates and leave the rest. So without further ado, let's get into my November book haul. Okay, so the books that I've hauled this month in November are secondhand, mixture, and Amazon resale, and from World of Books secondhand. So they're not all new, but they're new to me, and this is how I can afford to balance buying brand new releases with something that's maybe been on my list for a while and I haven't snagged it up because I wait for it to come on at a reduced price. You help the secondhand book market, you stop things going into landfill. It's a way of being more mindful of what you do purchase as well, because anything that I do buy, I then redonate if I'm not going to keep it. And I just love being able to do that as part of my book world, really. So let's get into the start of the books that I bought, and I'm going to start up on this line here. So first off, grabbing Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. Trials, Reverse Harem. Sounds like it's very bloodthirsty. A lot of people have said that it's really sort of gets you at the edge of your seat, and it's sort of like Roman Colosseum style vibes, so I'm loving the sound of that. I've actually got the second one. This one I got in Sainsbury's, which is a supermarket here in the UK, for £4 on sale. And this one, The Bonds of Hercules, I got on Amazon. No, this one's not damaged, so this was obviously brand new. So that's Bonds of Hercules, Blood of Hercules, 1 and 2. I bought The Power of Hades by Eliza Reign. This is on my November TBR. If you haven't watched that video, I can link it down below. She goes into the underworld, she gets taken by Hades. She doesn't want to play ball, he wants her forever. That one I'm actually going to be currently reading in this week, but that's what I picked up recently. I'm currently reading this series by Pen Cole, which is Spark of the Everflame series. This is book 3. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to pick this up soon because I kind of want to wait for book 4 to come out before I start this one, because otherwise it's just too big a gap to wait for the final instalment of the story. So I've read 1 and 2. I've just recently finished Glow of the Everflame, which is over here. Loved it. If you want to know my thoughts on that, then go and check out my October wrap-up video because I talk more about it in that one. So I did just buy this one just in case I wanted to get back into the story pretty quickly, because this one ends on a little bit, not too much of a cliffhanger. Surprising thing happens where the characters are in danger and you're not sure what's going to happen next. So I'm not sure whether this will call to me before the end of the year or not. So Spark of the Everflame, and now Glow of the Everflame. This one, Heat of the Everflame, book 3 in the saga. Kindred's Curse saga, sorry, book 3. The Bone Season, right. This one I literally got in the post a few days ago. This is secondhand from World of Books. World of Books are not sponsoring this video, but I do love World of Books because if a title is slightly older, most times you can find it on there. And I signed up to their £15 one-off plus membership, which means for the whole year you get 10% off alongside any other discounts that they're doing. So sometimes you can get books for a steal of a deal because they might have like 25% off, which includes your current discount. So they're already discounted. They're already helping recycle and keep, you know, books out of landfill. They also give you really good discounts. So I really love World of Books. They have an app which you can also get sort of discounted items on. You can save your basket, loads of different things. So this was on there and it was quite a lot cheaper than the sort of new book price. You can't always tell the condition of a book on there. It's a bit of a gamble, but you know, I'm going to read a book anyway. So I'm pretty much quite happy to take that gamble. You can choose between whether a book is in very good condition, fair condition. This was in very good condition, and I have to say, yes, it is. It's slightly creased on the spine. It's got no smoke smell or pet smell, which is probably my number one peeve. I do not like it if a book smells of cigarette smoke. That would be the only time where I would not pick up a book. I just don't like that. But The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, heard nothing but good things about this. She's the author of Priory of the Orange Tree and another series which has just come out, which is another dragon book, I think. This one is a futuristic set in 2059. She has the ability to see the future. She is arrested for murder and yeah, goes on a quest basically. I haven't heard that much about it other than people who have read it love it. Nocticadia, dark romance, lots of sort of world building, steamy. I just love the dark gothic vibes. One of my favourite current booktubers at the moment, Jamie Johnston, rave about this one, so I just picked that up purely on the fact that it's had good reviews and good ratings so far. Frost is another Fae one. It's super quick. Everyone says that it's like a one and done read in a day if you've got some time. And the follow-up book is Ambrosia by C.N. Crawford. Both have been, yeah, really high up on my list of anticipated reads. It's about Fae. It's about going into a competition to kind of basically survive. She gets picked up by this Seelie Fae king when she's down and out. She breaks up with her boyfriend or she ends up homeless or something. He takes advantage of that fact and puts her into a competition, and not only is she wildly attracted to this guy, maybe she's on the rebound from splitting up from her boyfriend, who knows, but she gets pushed into a trial for her life basically. Melissa R. Rorich, I love her. The Chaos series, what was it, Reign of Shadows and Endings, loved that series. I haven't started on book 2 yet, only read book 1. It has been slightly put on pause because I started Spark of the Everflame, so I went on that kind of little escapade. But this keeps calling to me. I keep thinking about this, and if Lady of Darkness is anything like this series, I am going to love it. Her writing is very captivating. I could not put that book down, even though it was quite hard hitting at times. Check your triggers on this one, because this is very about the woman being submissive, being borderline abused with her boundaries and with her body. Her choices are literally taken away from her with everything, to the point where she is seen as an object of sex, of her body. She has to kneel and be subservient to the fae that she's with. I found it a little triggering at times, but I hear that it does change. So like I say, Lady of Darkness is a completely different setting, different story altogether. She's owned by a ruthless assassin lord. She's like more of a fighter. She's got more of a, like, this is more like adventure, kind of vengeful mission, whereas this one's very much like her internal journey of being a nobody and then finding out that she has superpowers, and she's going to sort of rip this kingdom a new one. So like I say, I'm really looking forward to getting into another realm with Melissa, because I love her writing. It flows really nicely. She's got a lot of plot and sort of character building in amongst sort of the bombshells. So I really am looking forward to getting stuck into Lady of Darkness. And I hear it's quite a long series as well. I think there's six books at the moment. Heavenly Bodies, for anyone who has been in the book scene for a while, I'm still catching up with getting back into what's good and what's been floating around in recent months, because I've been out of the literal cutting edge book scene for a while. But I've always loved books, I've always read. But these are me getting into what's hot right now, what kind of style reading I like. I've missed that whole spicy genre, romantasy era that has blossomed since I stepped away from my reading quite so vividly, because I had a lot of other things going on in my life. Always been a reader, but I'm basically catching up into that scene now. So these are all the books essentially that I wanted to complete my collection, to catch up and to find out what I was missing in the land of booktube and romantasy since I've been gone. So Heavenly Bodies, celestial beings, love across time and space. It sounds like it's quite an epic world to kind of dive into. It's giving me Red Rising kind of vibes, but more on a ethereal sort of timeline and genre. And I'm waiting for the right time to read this one, because I think it will ruin me. So Heavenly Bodies, and the second one's coming out very soon. This one just grabbed me just because of the cover. It's giving me like vintage kind of spooky vibes. There's a town that basically lots of people end up dead. She likes to keep it that way, our main character, so she's somewhat to do with it, or she finds out that somebody in the place is causing all of the deaths, and she doesn't want to up-tip the apple cart. So she goes down this wormhole of basically her and him either stopping the murders or adding to them. I'm not quite sure, but it just looked really fun. It looked really light-hearted, even though it's about sort of the spooky season and demons and werewolves and vampires and things happening in the town, or people that die don't stay dead. There's some element of that's going on, and I'm really excited to get stuck into this one, because it just looks like it's going to be a fun ride rather than anything too serious. So Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver, the Seasons of Carnage trilogy, and this one's only just out, so there's 2 more to come. All the Devils. Now this one has got the most deliciously beautiful cover. It's that matte brushed front cover, and it's got all like the embossing and everything, so I just love a good cover that has this. This is a sister who's looking for her missing sister. She goes to a Ravenswood Academy, which is an elite boarding school according to the back here. Secret societies, ancient magic, demons, and a set of clues to try and find out what happened to her sister. Just sounds really interesting. It says, deliciously dark and atmospheric, I tore through this gothic tale. Eerie and intense and mysterious. It sounds good, so it may well be something that I pick up very, very soon. But I don't really want to know too much about this one. I actually want to go into this one completely blind. I mean, just the cover alone with the death moths and the fact that this hand is going black. I don't know, it's just intriguing. So I'm looking forward to picking that one up. Servant of Earth. This one has also been highly talked about with nothing but good things, especially from Nadine's bookshelf. She raves about this book and saying that it's very, very close to Throne of Glass vibes. And a lot of times people say that books are close to Throne of Glass, but they're kind of like more in the esque realms of it, slightly hinting at it. Whereas she says actually it's pretty darn close, and it's one of her favourite, most amazing reads of 2025. So I'm excited to get into this one as soon as I can, because anything that is close to Throne of Glass, in my opinion, it's the best that Sarah J Maas has written. If she could combine Throne of Glass with Court of Silver Flames in a new series, oh, that would be the pinnacle. Take a Court of Mist and Fury, a Court of Silver Flames, mix it in with Throne of Glass. That, in my opinion, would be the best series ever. Throne of Glass missed the spice of Court of Silver Flames, but other than that, it was an immaculate series, and it will always be the one series that broke me, that built me back together, and that set me on the path of who I am today. You know, it changed me. It changed me at a most pivotal time in my life. And I shall be forever grateful to Sarah J Maas and to Throne of Glass. If this can do similar things, then I am really looking forward to the ride. Oh, okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is a new release, The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This sounds amazing. It's Greek mythology, trials. I mean, look at it. It's a special edition, sprayed edges. It's got the artwork in the beginning here in the front, which is stunning. And it's got the embossing on the front hardcover. Now, that is the only damage. It's a little bit dented actually on the hardcover. It looks like it's fallen like spine down, and the sleeve is ripped just a tiny bit. This was on Amazon resale, and it had at least £4 or £5 off of it just for that little bit of damage. So whenever I see a new release, I always check down on the list on the side that says new and used. And Amazon sell their damaged paperbacks and hardbacks in that section, and they are all reduced. So it may well be a new release like this one is, but if you don't mind, like even if you take the book sleeve off, see the book sleeve is like that. If you take that off and you just had this as a hardback book, you're barely going to notice that little dent. Doesn't bother me at all. You know, the actual book itself is not damaged in any way. The pages aren't ripped. It's a brand new book, and it's a special edition. I do not mind paying a little bit less for it, just for that little bit of damage, because again, otherwise these books don't get sold. They just get thrown away eventually, and I think that's a real shame. Greek mythology, Hades, she goes into the underworld and has to play lots of games and trials. She doesn't know whether she's a pawn or whether she's playing for her life. The stakes keep changing, so she's not sure. But that one just sounds fun. This one was from World of Books. It was a second-hand one, again, a little bit dented on the top corner there. I think this was like £4. A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. Heard mixed reviews about this one. Wanting to get into a little bit of Norse mythology and like romance. So I thought I'd pick this one up. It's a lovely, just simple edition. There's no artwork or anything. But I liked this edition, which is going out of print. They've changed the artwork, and I wanted this artwork specifically. So again, World of Books is great for that because you can actually find the exact title or the publication that you want, rather than Amazon. You can't always tell what publication it's going to be because they have, when I've bought books in the past, I've wanted that specific cover and then they've given me the new edition, which is no bad thing if you want a new edition, but sometimes I specifically want a book for the artwork or the publication date. If I'm collecting something for a reason and I want them all to match, I want the exact edition. So World of Books is great for that. So that was one that came recently. This is brand new, straight pre-order from Amazon, The Wolf King, Lauren Palfreyman. I hope I'm spelling that correctly. Touch Her and You Die vibes, shape-shifting, intense pleasure apparently. It's very much like a romantasy. I mean, to me it looks a little bit younger because it's quite big text. I'm not a fan of that. It always gives me wary vibes when it's really big to read, either because it's written for an OAP. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but you know what I mean? Like when you read a book with big text, it either is for a younger audience, like YA. I have a preference in terms of text size and layout. Sometimes if it's not what I'm expecting to do with the context of the book, it's a little bit off-putting. So that's my observations with that straight away. It's like, wow, the text is big. Oh, we pick up such a funny thing. See, like for that instance, it's just smaller. But maybe it's, again, because it's a paperback, not a hardback book. Let's just test this theory by going into these. Yeah, see that? Smaller text. I don't quite get it when a book has really large text. I mean, it does make me think that it's for a younger audience when it does that. But I don't know. I could be right. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think the age range of Wolf King is. I thought it was spicy and for an older audience, but correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, The Ordeals is the next one that I got. This one was another one from Amazon that was a second-hand one. No damage at all, but as you can see, it just doesn't have a dust jacket at all. The dust jacket is missing. So nothing wrong other than a little bit of marking on the pages there. I don't care about that. So there's no artwork, no nothing. But again, it was like £3 or £4 cheaper than the brand new price. So I'm happy with that. I mean, again, if you wanted to be really picnickety, you could see there's a slight lip there. But I'm happy to get a brand new release for like £4 or £5 cheaper than it would be for the full price. So bring it on. Okay, Vesselless. This was just, yeah, straight away bought it. Just sounded really good, like Casper the Ghost vibes apparently. She's got to try and fight for his life and get him to not be anymore. I think, according to the synopsis, is that he has to basically, in order for him to live, he has to take her life, but she doesn't know that. So it's like complicated, like you want them to be together, but ultimately you know that only one can live. So yeah, that sounds good. And I love Casper, and no one's done a story similar to Casper at all. It was my generation growing up, Casper. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one and reliving that, really, because Casper was just awesome. Daughter of No Worlds. Heard good things that it's like Throne of Glass. Cannot wait to start this. This has only just been released in the UK. It's been out in America for so long. And that's the thing when you're in the UK and you watch American channels, especially for me, watching booktube and Instagram and stuff. You talk about a lot of books that you're reading, like Hollow, for instance, by the Twisted Sisters, Caroline Packham and Susan Valetti. I pre-ordered it. It was supposed to come out this month, November 25th, and it's now been recalled. We can't get it. Let me know why that is, or if I can somehow get hold of a copy. Release dates here are so different than in America. But anyway, this has just been released or re-released because I had it in my Amazon cart before because it was an indie published one through Amazon. And then it went through the roof in price, then stopped publication because obviously it got picked up by a mainstream publishing house, which is Bramble now. So this has only just been re-released, but I do love the artwork. The original artwork was great, but I think this is slightly better. And the next book is coming out December 5th, 2025. So literally in a week and a bit's time, we're going to be able to get hold of book 2. So I'm going to get hold of that straight away so that I've got them to read when I do start this series, because I know I'm going to love this along with that one. These two are giving me Throne of Glass vibes, and I may well have to shove everything else out of the way in order to accomplish those to be read before the end of the year. Now these are literally what came yesterday, these 3. This one is a completely unknown book to me. I haven't seen anyone else talking about it online, so I may well be the first. It just sounded so good. I just know I'm going to love it. She basically gets beguiled and sort of conned into marriage with this Fey prince because he tells her that he needs her to save his kingdom. She feels sorry for him and she marries him, thinking that she's just a normal human. Unbeknown to her, he knows that she is actually a Fey changeling and she has unimaginable power, but it's untapped. But he somehow finds this out, seeks her out, and marries her before she even knows what's hit her. Takes her back to his kingdom, which is the Winter Kingdom in the Fey world. And basically she gets accused of being a spy from another realm, even though she's not Fey. She's never been there before. She has no idea that she has magical powers. All she knows is that she's gone home to her husband's realm, and she should be open and welcome to be there. But the king has the thinking that she's a spy, that she needs to be put to death, and the only way to save her is for her husband now to set up a game of trials and tribulations to satisfy the king, to, you know, put it out there that she may well die, but to kind of also save her life at the same time. And through these trials and tribulations, it unravels her powers essentially, and then she becomes a force to be reckoned with. So I'm just loving this because it sounds like a court of roses and thorns, a court of thorns and roses all over again. I'm so excited to read this one because no one has been talking about this book at all. So I'm really hoping that this is a good 5-star read for me. You heard it here first. Okay, my camera is blinking at me. I've only got a little bit of battery left, so let's see if we can run through these books quickly. So Callie Hart Brimstone, need I say more? I'm just currently reading Quicksilver, never read it before. I was trying to finish it before this one came out, but I haven't managed it. So this one will be soon fast approaching. The new, copper edges that matches my first one, which is silver. Until the World Falls Down. This is another one where she gets taken across the border into the Fey realm, gets given everything by this most amazing, sexy guy, and it's all about her kind of, getting into that new world, falling in love, having a passionate affair with him. Sounds just good time reads for me. Fairy-Dale, Veronica Lancet. Sounds like it's going to be an epic fantasy romance. Very dark, very gothic, emotionally damaging apparently, very spicy. The Ascended, everyone said that this is really good, so I've got 9%. I'm trying to see if I can finish this video before everything dies. Nothing but good things I've heard about this one. Ethereal, Celestial. Riftborn by the same authors. Nothing but good things heard from this one. A Court of Heathens. This again was recommended to me by Nicole's bookshelf, or Nadine's bookshelf. She says it's really spicy and a really good ride. Oh, Dark Birch Academy, the Ashen Wings series. I've heard conflicting things. Some people love it. Some people say it was actually not as good as what they thought it would be. Lacks plot, lacks any major sort of structure. But I have yet to make my mind on that. This is about a student falling in love with the professor in the academy, and he's not what he seems, or is really dark and passionate. Whether or not that's a letdown, I don't actually know. So there's that one. The female, apparently this is a reverse harem, 4 males to 1 female. I'm just here for that. Don't know anything else. I'm going to go into it blind, and I'm looking forward to, yeah, seeing what that one is all about. Bone Maker. Now this is by the same author, Sarah Beth Durst, as The Spell Shop, which is that witchy vibes one. I don't know anything about it other than someone is quite macabre and she uses bone magic. So she finds corpses, finds their bones, either scries with them or finds the future with them. And it just sounds like something very different and quite dark. So I'd like to try this one, because I read something similar by T. Kingfisher and I didn't like it. I think it was called Nettle and Bone. And it was just, yeah, it wasn't for me at the time. I may well pick that book up again in the future, but not yet. Grove Hollow. This one, 1980s, schoolgirl, a little bit kind of like Stranger Things, a little bit Casper-ish. There's a spirit in this house that she moves into. She tries to connect with him and figure out why he died, bring him back to life, but there's consequences because of it. So very similar to Vesselless in that way, but this one's 1980s. It's actually set in 1985, which was when I was born. I love these kind of vintage, the Goonies, sort of sleepy kind of towns where something spooky happens. Love these. So Grove Hollow, Metamorphosis. Wow, we've got 3 more books and we've got 6% battery. Let's see if we can do it. Obsidian by K.F. Breen. I've got a huge anticipation for this one. It's supposed to be spicy, it's supposed to be quite dark, really good plot line. Apparently quite a few triggers in this one, but I'm here for it. So again, Jamie Johnston from That Girl Reads on Instagram and YouTube. She says nothing but good things about this, so I take her recommendations seriously. So far what she's recommended I have loved, so I think I'm going to love this one. Psycho Shifters is another one of her recommendations. She absolutely loves this book, so I'm going to try to get that one. And House of Beating Wings, this is another Instagram booktop lover recommendation, and it sounds very much like Court of Thorns and Roses kind of style. Looking forward to reading this one. We have done this in super record time. I've got 5% battery left. Didn't I do well? I'm sorry that we didn't dive into any more detail than that. Check them out online if you want to find out more about the synopsis of stuff, but nevertheless, we have managed to do it. So that is my haul for November. I hope you found some good newbies in there that spark your interest, and let me know which you're looking forward to reading if you have any of these. And without further ado, thank you for joining me. And as always, this is the channel for the dreamers, for the witches and the wanderers. And these, and all of these, are our enchanted pages. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.